Norah Casey, you chaired the Ability to Access event for Bluebird Care here in Navan this evening. How was the event for you?
It was a privilege. I spoke to 9 people tonight on stage, and I don't think I've ever learned so much. I mean, I've learned everything about business. I was so inspired talking to Stephen in particular because there's a young man who always wanted to do business, and despite what happened to him, he still went on to do business, but in a totally different way. He's a real social innovator, and I just have a feeling about Stephen that he could be trailing a path that other people could follow. It just struck me this evening that we talk all the time about the difficulties of getting access to work, about employment issues. Why not go out and find customers? You're your own boss. You don't need to find an employer, you know? What struck me is the issue about teaching and, the guys talking about going into mainstream education and that being such a phenomenal thing for them, that they felt it made all the difference to them. I've just finished filming with young women from the travelling community, and time and again they told me they were moved into the remedial class, they were put at the back of the room, they weren't inspired by their teachers whatsoever. Now the one girl who went on to Crawford. 1% of travellers go on to third level education. The same is true, I think, in schools, because we teach Mandarin, German, French, we learn about history of all sorts of different cultures. Why don't we teach the kids about things around ability? About mixed ability, about limited ability. Why don't we talk to them about how it's okay to be different? Why is that missed off the curriculum? It just seems extraordinary to me that something as commonplace as everyday life and society, and clearly something that's causing a problem in the education sector and amongst young people, why don't we address it? It seems crazy to me that we don't.
Well, I think Norah Casey, broadcaster and author, and a whole pile of other really great things. Perhaps you can be somewhat of a voice for the people here tonight, but to tell their stories through lots of different mediums.
Yeah, you need ambassadors. I'm firmly convinced you need ambassadors outside of the sector. You need people. Now, I'll go on from here and say, you won't believe where I was the other night. You won't believe the man I met. You won't believe the woman who was talking. So the more you expose people like me to these kind of events, the better it is for you. Sometimes, sorry for saying this, but sometimes we're in danger of having a talking shop and preaching to the converted. And so the people who are talking to the other people already know all the issues. Get new blood in, get fresh faces, go and, encourage people to be like me, to walk away from something like this saying, I've learned a lot, I'm inspired, I'll never, let these issues drop. There'll be a little backdrop to things that I think about and talk about in the future.
We're delighted to have you, and thank you so much for sharing what was a brilliant evening.
And thank you for having me, Joanne. Thank you.